Hi everybody, it's Ms. Brody coming to you with another fantasy writing lesson, and today is a really exciting day because today we're going to get started drafting. So before we get started with the lesson, I want to lay down some guidelines to help you out, okay? First thing is that you're going to have about 2 weeks to draft, revise, and edit your stories, okay? So just know that every day I will likely, or most days, I'm going to be teaching a lesson on writing or revising. And you are expected to write or revise, add to or revise, meaning fix, change, or make better, your writing every single day. So there's not going to be a day where you say, oh, I'm done, or I don't have anything else to say, right? Only your teacher can say that you are done. And if you truly think you are done without getting your teacher's approval, then you can start a new story. But everyone should know that for the next 10 school days, you will be doing writing for a good 30 or 40 minutes a day, okay? That's your assignment, is to listen to the lesson and write every single day to make your story better or add to it, okay? Your teacher, as in school, is going to make comments on your story, and you're going to be making changes based on what your teacher says, right? Like giving you suggestions, okay? So please don't ignore our comments. And also a couple things just to know is that your stories are going to be anywhere from 2 to even up to 10 pages long. You are writing in 12-point font, 1.5 spaced. That means when you open a document, okay, this is where line spacing is, and this is where it says 1.5. Not single spaced, not this, not double spaced, and you're also going to be in 12-point font, okay? Don't make changes and make it bigger and things like that. Please follow these directions. Okay, now you should be done planning, right? All writers on Friday were to have created a story mountain or a story arc that gave yourself the basic gist or flow of your story. But unfortunately, some of you, and you know who you are, didn't do this step. That doesn't mean that you got away with it. It means you're still expected to do this and go back to Friday's assignment and figure out your story mountain. And all writers need a plan. Even if you end up not following it exactly, it's part of the writing process to sort of think through your story and make a plan. So if you didn't do this yet, then you're a little behind, but you need to sort of double up today and make your story mountain and even get started drafting. Okay, but now we're moving from describing our scenes in a sentence or two from our story mountain to writing full-on scenes. Okay, and yippee, right? We're finally getting to do the actual writing. So hopefully you're excited to get going on these fantasy stories. Hopefully you like your idea and you're ready to get jumping right in. So if we're getting started writing, the first thing we want to talk about is our hook, right? And I want you to think to yourself, what do I know about a hook? And hopefully you've heard your teacher talk about hooks before. So think about that. You can even pause the video for a second and think to yourself, what do I know about hooks? Okay, if you said that they grab the reader's attention, then you should give yourself a pat on the back, because all genres, which are the styles or types of writing, need a hook to get things started. Whether you're writing opinion writing, whether you're writing an informational article or a book, or a narrative, or a fantasy story, nothing's different. We want to grab the reader's attention from the very first paragraph and maybe even the very first sentence, and that's the job of a hook. So now let's narrow in on what do we know about hooks for narrative writing, for stories. And it doesn't matter that it's a fantasy story, it's still just a story. So before I click to the next slide, I want you to think about what you might already know about hooks for stories. Well, there are a few different tools in our writer's toolbox that we can use to help us get our narrative story started. And I like to use the acronym, the letters ADD. We're going to add up our choices. The A stands for action, D for description, and the other D is for dialogue. Those are 3 good sort of ways to think about breaking your hook up and trying different hooks on for size. So let's start with the A, action. That means you're going to really focus on a character doing something, and you're going to use strong verbs or action words in an action hook or lead. And I just want to remind you from my story mountain, the very beginning of my story started with Priscilla's parents send her to the forest to collect the pricklepuss plant. And I'm not going to go into this, that's later on in the first scene. So I'm really just focusing on that. How is my story starting? How will I get my reader into the world of the story? And I'm going to try using action. So this is what I came up with. Priscilla's mother slammed the cupboard door. In fact, she slammed every cupboard and closet door in the house. While she was at it, she slammed the drawers too. She stomped around the kitchen and climbed up and down the stairs in their small cottage. Priscilla practically felt the house shake. "We are out of pricklepuss," her mother cried. Now, again, I ended this little hook with a line of dialogue. That's okay. But you'll notice, and I underlined them to help you notice, that I used action words, strong action words. And maybe you notice that I used the word slammed 3 times. Well, that was on purpose. That's another writer's craft technique that we'll talk about in another lesson of using repetition. I didn't just forget that I used the word slammed, but I wanted to use the word slammed 3 times. So she's slamming, stomping, climbing, and all of that. I can sort of picture it. A character is doing something. But after I wrote that, I realized that there might be another way to start my story, that I could start the story a little bit later on in the scene. And again, this is what writers do. They think and they rethink and they come up with different ideas. So here's another possibility of starting later on in the scene to start my story. Priscilla skipped happily through the woods. Her legs sprang from the mossy earth with each step. She had never been sent to collect pricklepuss plants before, and this was a big honor. Her legs felt light as she hummed a silly tune as she traveled deeper into the freckled forest. And again, these are mostly actions, things that Priscilla in this case is doing, and that I decided maybe I don't need to see her mother not being able to find any. Maybe I'll just start the story later on of her off into the woods looking for them, okay? But in both of the hooks, I've focused on mainly what a character is doing, showing their actions. Now let's move on to a description hook. A description hook is usually when the writer is trying to describe the character or the setting. Well, my character doesn't need any real major description. She's just a normal kind of girl, even though it's a fantasy story. So I decided to focus on the setting. The sun shone brightly in the freckled forest. The leaves were a lovely shade of purple, and the glossy tree trunks practically sparkled. The yellow clouds dotted the pale pink sky as Priscilla pranced through the woods searching for the precious pricklepuss plants. Her steps were light and bouncy as she was in a joyous mood on this lovely spring day. Now, again, this is just sort of getting the reader into the world of the story. And what I decided as I was writing this is I wanted them to sort of get the hint that this was a fantasy story. So again, these were some thoughts that I had as I was writing. I made the leaves purple. I made the tree trunks sparkly and glossy. I had a pink sky. First I wrote blue, and then I was like, no, that's too normal. So I made it a pink sky and yellow clouds. And I do hope that you maybe notice that this sentence has a lot of P words in it. That's another writer's craft technique I'll talk about later on. It's called alliteration. Pale pink, Priscilla pranced, pricklepuss plants, precious, right? That's a craft technique I used. But again, I'm describing the setting here. Okay, and now we come to our third sort of different way to perhaps jump right in and hook our reader, and that is starting right off with a line of dialogue and just jumping right into the story. And here's mine. "Priscilla," shouted Mrs. Leica, "I need you. The time has come to forage for more pricklepuss plants." Priscilla quickly appeared by her mother's side in the family's small kitchen. "Yes, Mama," said Priscilla excitedly. "I'll go at once." "There should be plenty this time of year," added Priscilla's mother. "Take this basket and return when it's full. It's a lovely day to head into the freckled forest. I know you will not disappoint us." And again, I'm jumping into my story with dialogue, and I want you to know that I really put some thought into this. I specifically decided that the mom would say that there should be plenty this time of year because I know, in fact, that Priscilla is not going to find plenty. She also says, "I know you will not disappoint us." Well, that's going to be another sort of like internal problem that Priscilla is facing, is that she doesn't want to disappoint her mother, and she's going on this important important task, okay? So you'll see again that I have 3 different hooks: action, description, and dialogue. And now I have to decide, which one do I prefer? Well, maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know if you have a favorite. I know for me, I enjoyed writing all of them. And so to me, sometimes I decide after I've done all that work, I think, you know what? I think I'm going to sort of combine a few of them together, right? Maybe I'll start with the dialogue, but then I have that nice description of her walking through the forest. That's usable too, right? So I could do that, right? No matter which hook you choose or whether you do some sort of combination, the idea is that when you start writing your story, you want to jump start it and you're showing what's going on and not just telling. And you also hopefully notice that I set up the fantasy elements right away, and I even purposely made the leads mostly happy because I wanted the unhappy or scary parts to become a little bit more unexpected, so that when she goes, that it's starting out sort of like, oh, she's just going to go into the woods and get Pricklepuss, and then she's going to sort of find that dragon there, and then things are going to take a little bit of a darker turn. So I want to start happy so that it's a little bit more surprising. Again, these are things that writers think about as they're writing, and I'm hopeful that you will too, that you're going to give it some thought, okay? I also want you to notice, or hopefully think about, what I didn't do, right? So think to yourself, is there anything you noticed that I didn't do and that you're going to try to avoid? Well, if you said that, well, my hooks weren't too boring, I don't think they were that boring, so we don't want to write our hook in a boring way. We don't want to just say, Priscilla's mom sent her to the woods to get Pricklepuss plants. That's kind of a boring start, right? I also didn't include too much unnecessary information. I got right to the start of my story. I didn't start with Priscilla waking up, eating breakfast, or anything else that's not really important. And I really didn't even spend too much time, even with a description hook, where I'm not describing every little nook and cranny of the house or what she's wearing or the color of her hair. That's really just not that important. So we don't want to include too much unnecessary information. And finally, the most important one is I didn't tell what was happening. You're going to hear lots of lessons of those terms, show, don't tell, right? It didn't say Priscilla's mom told her she needed to go get Pricklepuss plants, so Priscilla left to find them. As soon as you have a sentence where it says somebody told somebody something else, well, in that case, you should already know, why not use the exact words the person is saying instead of just telling the reader that they said something to them. Okay, so it's your turn to start drafting, and we're really, really excited to start reading these stories. And again, writing is a process. Give serious thought to your hook. How are you going to get the reader into your story from the very first sentence? Maybe you're going to try your hook a few different ways, and then maybe combine them into one awesome hook, right? Writing isn't a one-time and you're done process. It's not like you just start typing in and you say, I did it, I'm done. It takes time, thought, and effort, and that's what we hope that you will do today. Now, you can write more than just your hook. The idea is you're writing every day. How much you write, though, is up to you. But again, it should not just be 1 or 2 sentences. Remember, you're starting a new Google Doc and sharing it immediately with your teacher so that they can right? You're going to go up to the share button and click that and share it with your teacher, and so we can see how much progress you're making each day. Again, you are almost in 6th grade. This is the major part of our work. The next few weeks is the writing. So we really want you to put time and effort. And so you should be writing a good couple paragraphs or a half a page almost every day, which is why we want your stories to be close to 2 would be quite of a short story in this case. Your stories should be closer to 5 pages long to write a good full story. Okay, so get started, and we can't wait to read what you write. Take it easy. See you tomorrow.